In the last class, we were talking about access to. We saw how to configure the access to framework in IDEs, Eclipse IDE. So now today we'll talk about how to create a web service. So we'll see, not just discussion. We'll see how to create a web service, how to develop a web service using the access to framework. Okay, yes. So first of all, yeah, please concentrate here, all of you. So first and foremost thing what you have to do is you have to create a dynamic web project. Create a dynamic web project. Okay. So I'll call it as test web service. Let's say. So we'll deploy this web project on this Tomcat server. The dynamic web model version of 82.5. Yes. And then here I'll click on finish. And I just created a simple web project now. I created a web project. Now what is the next thing you have to do? You have to add access to project facets. You have to add access to project facets here. Let's do that. Select the project, right click on it. You'll find properties. And in the properties you'll see project facets. Project facets. Here, click on this project facets. In the project facets, you'll find access to web services. You'll find access to web services. You check this option. Access to web services. Okay, in the project facets, you'll find access to web services. Then click on apply. And okay. Here, by adding the access to project facets, we were configuring the access to framework here. Okay, so that wizard is actually capable of the project facets which we have added. It will make sure that it will configure the access to framework. It will add the libraries as well. Okay, yes, you see you'll find that here an additional folder is added with the name access to, so which provides the access to environment here, which we can use to run the web services. And you will find that the complete access to framework or the components of access to framework here have been configured. You will find that in the web. access to components have been configured here. And even in the lib directory, if you keenly observe the lib directory, you'll find that all the jars have been added. So you don't need to explicitly deal with these things. That project facet itself will make sure that all the necessary configurations are done in the project. Okay, yes, fine. So now here we got this project and we got the access to framework here configured. Next thing what we have to do is we have to create a web service. Here we can create a web service using two different approaches again. One is top-down approach, the other one is bottom-up approach. Top-down approach and bottom-up approach. Okay, so first of all, we'll see bottom-up approach. Okay, we'll see bottom-up approach. In the bottom-up approach, first of all, we'll create a Java class, then we'll convert it into a web service. Okay, we'll create a Java class and then convert it into a web service here. Yes. There is some noise or disturbance. Okay, I've muted everyone. So now let's use this bottom-up approach here to develop the web service. Actually, in the last class we were talking about a web service. So what do we mean by web service actually? In the web service, what we'll have? What is there in the web service? Basically in the web service you'll have business logic, right? Yes, different methods will be there, and each method in the web service is actually known as what? In the web services terminology, what is a method? In the web services terminology, what is a method known as? It's an operation. We call it as an operation. Operation. Operation means a method. Please remember this point. In the web services terminology, a method means what? Operation. Operation. Operation, if you hear the term operation in the web service, that means it is nothing but it's a method. Okay, it is nothing but a method. Operation means a method. Yes. Okay, fine. So here, we'll develop a web service. In the web service, as I said, we will have some business logic. Generally, where do we write the business logic? Inside a method, right? Inside a method. So we'll be writing the business logic in a method. So now here, as I said, we'll follow the bottom-up approach. In bottom-up approach, what happens? We'll be developing a web service using a Java class. Okay. First, we'll define a Java class, and then we'll convert it into a web service. We'll convert it into a web service. Okay. Yes. So here, let's see how to do that. So I'll define a class in the source directory. I'm defining a class here. So type packages form.business, something like this, and let's say the service name sample service B, and in this bean class here, in this class Java class, normal Java class. Okay. Yes. So bean is not mandatory here. You don't need to prefix it with bean. Okay, and you may have the doubt whether bean is mandatory. No, not at all. So here I want to add a method which has got some business logic in it. I want to add a method which has got some business logic in it. So we'll try to implement a very simple business logic. Yes. Can you people give me a few examples? What shall we implement here? Which is very simple, which we can easily implement. Yes. It should not consume much time because our intention is not to learn how to implement the business logic, because it depends upon individuals how you implement a particular functionality. It depends upon you people, right? Yes. So what functionality shall we implement here? Mirror the message. Okay, fine. So let's do that. Compare those strings, whatever it is. Yes. So let's say I'll do this. You got some idea. Yeah. So we'll take a username, and let's say it will generate a message. Return. Yeah. Hello. Username. Welcome to web services world. Okay, something like this. So you got this method called as generate message. Now in web services terminology, it is known as an operation. Okay, so here this method which has got some functionality in it, business logic. Now I want to expose this functionality which is defined in this method to the service so that any application can access this functionality. Okay, yes, we want to make it platform independent, language independent. That is what a web service means, right? Yes. So let's do that. Here you will find that this is a normal Java class as of now. Let's convert it into a web service. We'll convert it into a web service here. So how to do that? Yes. So that first of all, you select this Java class, right click on it. Okay. Yes. So we are converting it into web service. So the thing is here, this approach, what it is known as, what did I say? What approach we are following here? Using a Java class, we are generating a web service. This approach is known as bottom-up approach, please remember. Okay, bottom-up approach, yes. Okay, fine. So, you'll find that you got, when you select the class and right-click on it, you'll see this web services option here, web services option. Okay, web services. Here, you can select this web services or create web service option here in this create web service option. When you click that, when you select the create web service, you see you'll get a pop-up window like this. Here, now this wizard which you're looking at will help you to create a web service. Okay, this wizard will help you to create a web service now. You see what it says on top, web service type, bottom up, Java Bean web service it says. So it's a bottom up approach which you're following here. Okay, yes. Now, the service implementation, that means where exactly that business logic is defined. So the class name should be provided here. Yes. Next, on which server you want to run this web service. On which server you want to run this web service. Here it is Tomcat 7.0 server. In web service runtime, it is Apache Access to service project. So it belongs to which you see web service runtime is provided by whom? Apache Access to. As I said, Access to framework, it provides runtime environment here for the web services to execute. Okay, yes, they provide the environment, runtime environment for the web services to execute. Okay, yes. So next, this web service belongs to which project? Test web service. Okay, yes. So all these configurations are fine. Now here we'll click on next. You don't need to touch anything here. Click on next. So the web service, after it is developed, you'll find that it will be configured in an XML file called as services.xml. Okay, services.xml. So here, by default in our project, when we created the project, okay, so in the project you'll have the services.xml file. So it is asking whether to create a new services.xml file and configure this web service in that XML file or use an existing one. So you can actually do this, generate a default services XML file. Even if it is existing, it will be overwritten, no problem. Click on next. Now, here, in order to generate the service, the tool is asking us to start the server, the Tomcat server. So let's start the Tomcat server here. Start server. Okay, you can click on next and finish. Click on finish. Don't worry about those settings here. Just click on finish. That's it. So now here, I can say that the web service is created and it is deployed on the server actually. It is deployed on the server, I can say. Yes. Now, here you can run this web service once. Let's do that. We'll try to run this web service. Try to select the web service project here. Right click on it. You'll find run on server option. Just click on this run on server and click on finish. You know what? Here, when you run this web service on the server, you should see this page. When you run the web service project on the server, you should see this page. Okay. Yes. So what is it? It says Apache Software Foundation. And here you got services validate administration options. So if you see this page, I can say that your web service is deployed successfully. Okay. Yes. Fine. Now, here this web service is deployed on the server. It is executing. Now, what if I want to access this web service? What to do? How do I access the web service here? Yes. So, you know, actually, if you want to access this web service, okay, now actually we know only Java. Because we are only familiar with Java, I'm going to create a client application which is Java based itself. So we have to create a web service client here to access this web service. You know, in the last class we were talking about the web service client, and as I said, on the client side, basically there is a component which plays a key role. What is it? A proxy, right? Yes, a proxy will play a key role here. So the thing is here, um, how do we create that proxy? How to create that proxy and how to supply the details about this web service to the proxy, so that proxy, will help us to interact with this web service, to communicate with the web service. Yeah. So, now I want you to just recollect the definition of web service. You'll find that I gave you people a term. I said web services are self-descriptive. Right? Web services are self-descriptive. Here, you know, you'll find that for each web service, you'll have a visitor document. For each web service, you have a visitor document. It acts as an interface between the client and the web service. Okay? Yes. Visitor. Web service definition, language, visitor documents. You'll find a file, visitor file, wherein you'll have, in this visitor file, you'll have the details about the web service. Okay, you'll have the complete details about the web service. Basically, it's an XML file itself. Okay, it's an XML file. You'll find all the details here. So, I can say that the visitor, it has got the complete description about the web service, which can be used to generate these proxies. Yes, you can use that visitor document to generate the proxy. You see, it is platform independent, language independent, because the visitor document is XML based. It is an XML document. Okay. So now, if you want to generate a client-side proxy, you need that visitor document, because we can use the tools here to generate that proxy. But the tools which generate the proxy, they need this details definitely. They need this details definitely. Okay. Yes. So now here, how do we access that web service? Are we supposed to create that web service here? No, you don't need to do that. Okay. Yes, you don't need to do that. I'll show you. So in this page itself, you'll find web services, services link, right? Click on the services link. It will show you list of services which we got here, available services. One is bank services streams, and what is the other one? Sample service stream. And the other one is address book service. So which service is our service here? Sample service B. Sample service B is our service, right? I've created a sample service B. And have you noticed it? Available operations. What is it? Generate message. What is that generate message actually? Where did we see this generate message? It's a method in the web service. Right? In the service implementation class, I can say that in the service implementation class, it is a method actually. Yes, you see, This is known as an operation here. It says available operations are generate message. Okay, you click on the service, sample service build link. Click on this link. Yes. Now, here on your screens, what you're looking at is actually WSTL document, WSTL, WSTL. It's WSTL. Yes. So here in this document, in this WSTL document, which is XML document, you see we got the details about the web service which you have created. Yes. Okay. Yes. So how to read this WSTL document? How to understand this WSTL document now? Here you will find that in this WSTL document there will be various elements which you need to concentrate on. You see, the root element of the WSTL document, will be definitions. Definitions. Okay, this is the root element. Definitions. Definitions is the root element. And in this definitions, we got sub-elements. What are they? Types, message, port type, binding, and service. So these are the different elements which you'll see in a web service. Okay. Now I'm going to explain. I'm going to teach you people how to study a WSTL document, how to understand a WSTL document. That is what is important. Okay. In SOAP-based web services, if you can understand WSTL document, half of the work is done. Okay. So if you can understand the WSTL document, yes. So it is great. So we'll say that you almost services. That's it. Yeah. That is how it works. Fine. Just a second, please. Just a second. Just a second. Okay, sorry. Now, here, um, our primary goal is to understand web service, WSTL document. Okay? Yes. So, W3 Schools is going to assist us in this regard also. You will find the details for WSTL here. Okay? We'll use these details. Okay, so here we got the details about WSDL. So what is it? WSDL stands for Web Service Description Language. WSDL is a language for describing web services and how to access them. And WSDL is written in XML. So these are very important points. All the 3 points are also very important here. Yes. Next, here you'll find that in the WSDL we got various elements. We'll try to just check these elements. Yes. You see, the most important element in the WSDL document, they've been briefly they've been described here. Okay. Yes. You see here, first of all, the types. Types is one of the WSDL elements. Have you noticed it? Types. So what is types here? Types, it says it's a container for data type definitions used. Sorry, just a second. You see here, the types, what it is, basically it's a container of data type definitions used by the web service. Yes, that's true. You have the data type details of the data which we use in the web services here. Please make a note of it. So we'll definitely talk about it. It's a container of data type definitions used by the web service here. Yes. Next, you got messages. So what are messages here? You see, you'll find that messages, the type of definition of data being communicated. The type of definition of data being communicated here. Next, we got port type. Port type, it defines set of operations supported by one or more endpoints. Set of operations supported by one or more endpoints. Yes. Okay. Fine. So here you'll find that there is binding, which indicates a protocol and data format specifications for a particular port type. Yes, please make note of it. Okay, now I'll explain that. Let's see in detail. Here, you know, always it is better to start to read the visual document from port type element. Okay, yes, read it from port type element. Yes, start reading the web services or visual document from port type element. Here, it is better. You see, here in the port type element, you'll find the details about the operations, right? That is what you'll find in the port type element. Okay, this in the port type element, you'll find the details about the operations which are defined in the web service. Yes. So here you see operation name. So each operation which you define in the web service, you find an element, operation element here for that. Okay, you find an operation element for that. Yes. You see here, the operation name is generate message. Not only the operation details are provided, but you will find that here even the details about what exactly this operation takes. That means what exactly the input, what type of, what is the input, whether this operation takes any input. Okay, the complete details about that input are not specified here, but you see whether the operation takes any input or not. Those details are provided. You see, using this input element, if you find the input element, then it indicates that here this operation takes an input. So the details about that input will not be specified here. They won't be provided here. The details about that input, they are not provided here. Okay, so you won't find them here. So just say you'll find that here a message is associated to this input. What is it? Message, generate message request. And similarly, there is an output also for this operation that is actually mapped to a message called as generate message response. What are these messages here? So messages actually they represent the input and output values for the operation. Okay, messages basically they hold the details about the input and output values which are passed to the method or operation basically. Okay, that is what you got in the port type. And where are these messages defined? You'll find that these messages are actually defined on top here. You see, generate message request, generate message response. For request there is one message, for response there is another message. So if you open this generate message request, you see you'll find you see actually here that the input message is represented by this message element called as generate message request. But actually I want to know what type of message is this? What type of value is this message here? That is what I want to understand. Okay, so that accordingly we can pass the value. So not just message, you will need the message type details also, right? Yes, you will definitely need message type details. Yes. Here, if you want the message type details, then in that case, here you see the details are provided using this element. You see in the generate message you got part element. Part has got an attribute called as element here. Element. And this element actually here it refers to a schema definition. It refers to a schema definition. Okay. Yes. It refers to a schema definition here. A schema element. Sorry. It refers to one of the schema element. Which one? Generate message. Okay. This message in turn is mapped to a schema element called as generate message. Okay. Yes. So where is the schema details here? Just where is the schema details here? Where are they? You will find that the schema details are in this types. Types. See, you got the details here. Element is generate message. Yes. So this element in XML schema is actually mapped to this message. Generate message request. So that means here actually this element here it indicates what type of element is this. What type of data this input message represents, those details are here. It says this is generate message is an XML element. In the schema, we got the details. Generate message is an XML element, which is what type? Complex type. And in this element, there is a sub-element called as username, which is of type string here. Yes. So this way, the type details. You see the type details are here stored. They are stored in this types element. Yes. Actually, can you people give me the appropriate Java format for this XML element generate message? Yeah, you people will do this mistake. No, that is not right. The Java format for this element in the schema, generate message. It should be, no, I'm talking about this XML element, generate message. It is a complex type. That means in Java, complex type means a class. Generate message, and there is a sub element in it that becomes a property here. What is the sub element and what type of element it is? The element name is username. It is string type. It's a simple type according to Java. Username. So this is the input message here. Okay, this is the input message. Yep. So similarly, even the output message will be defined. Even the output message is defined here. Let's see. So generate message response. Here again it refers to an element, XML element called as generate message response. Here the details about the type definition details. Okay, the data type details of this element are stored here. This is the schema definitions. We call them as, right? Generate message response is the element name. Again, it's a complex type element. You got a sub element called as return, which is of type string here. That's it. Generate message response. Plus generate message response with a string return. That's it. Actually, here the types which we have mentioned in the Java method and the types which you see here will be different. Actually, in Java, it was just plain string, right? The method used to take a plain string value, but here it has become a complex type. This is very much needed. Okay, this is very much needed here. Yeah. So you'll find that here uh, the input message is represented by generate message class. The output message is represented by generate message response. Now altogether, altogether here, now we can reconstruct the method definition this way. When it comes to web services, the method definition will slightly change again. Public generate message response. Method name is, what is the method name? Generate message. It takes a parameter. What is it? Generate message is a parameter. That's it. Generate message is a parameter here. Yes. So this way it works. So this way in the visitor document, we have the details about the web service. So types are providing the data type details, right? Types elements are providing the data type details of the message element here. Yes, messages, they represent the input and output values for the methods or operations. And what about this bindings? Actually, here we'll be using this binding. Which binding I'll show you. Basically, here we'll be using this binding, SOAP 1 to binding. SOAP 1 to binding here, it indicates that in our web services, we'll use SOAP 1.2 version. We'll use SOAP 1.2 version here. So SOAP is a protocol, as I said, which is used. Here, you'll find that this SOAP protocol is used by the clients and service, I can say. Both the client and service, they use the SOAP protocol to exchange the messages. In order to communicate with each other, the service client and the service both will use this protocol. Okay, yes. And here, you'll find that the other two bindings will not use them. Yes, and then you got service element here. What about service? The service will give you the endpoint details. Endpoint details. Endpoint means where exactly this web service is located, the exact location of this web service, on which machine it is hosted. On which machine it is hosted, you see, Here we'll be using this SOAP 1.2. I can say actually the first port element and the second port, last port element are waste. So they are generated by the tool additionally, but we don't need them. We don't use them. Okay. Yes. So here is a port name sample service being HTTP SOAP 1.2 endpoint. So this is the port element in the service which provides the details about the web service location here, the endpoint location. It means where exactly the web service is deployed, where it is hosted, okay, on which machine it is running, on which machine the web service is running actually. You see the location is address element is used to provide the details. Address element, in address element you'll find location attribute. Here the details are provided. Localhost 9999. The project name is test web service. Here this way you'll find the details, complete details about the web service here, right? You got the details about the location of the web service, where exactly it is hosted, what operations are defined in the web service, whether it takes any input message or not, if there is any output message, if there is an input message, what type of input message it is again. The type details are provided as well, right? Yes. The complete details about the web service are provided here. Okay, they are defined in the WSDL document. They are actually defined in the WSDL document itself. Yes. Okay. So hope you people got it, right? I want you people to go through this. Okay, study the WSDL documents. You'll find you see in the W3 schools you got this WSDL document details. You can just go through them. Okay. Later on we'll be also talking about SOAP. Okay. So we'll see how to work with SOAP also. So we'll be again, using this WSDL document regularly from now on. So we'll be referring to it. Don't worry, I'll make you people comfortable with the WSDL documents. So today we saw how to create a web service and you see how to study this WSDL document. Now the web service is deployed on the server, and the next thing what you have to do is you have to learn how to actually consume the web service by creating a web service client. Okay, so how to consume the web service. So that we'll see in the next class, and there you will understand the advantage of WSDL document. There you will see what role the WSDL plays. Okay, as of now, WSDL document contains the description of web service and all, but still there are many benefits for the WSDL document. So those things we'll discuss it in the next class. Okay, yeah. So hope people are comfortable so far what we discussed. So we'll meet tomorrow again and we'll continue our discussion.